direct transits happening this week. On Monday, the 15th, Venus and Mars will sextile. On Tuesday, the 16th, Venus will trine Chiron. Then Mars will finally be opposing Chiron. Intense. We've been feeling that, especially with what's been going on presently in the world. On Wednesday, the 17th, Mercury will be opposing Saturn. On the 18th, there's so much happening this week. I'm not gonna lie. On the 18th, Mercury moves into Libra. When it moves into Libra, it directly makes an opposition to Neptune, then trines Uranus, then trines Pluto. So Mercury is like the big mover this month, or this week specifically. And since it's Virgo season, Virgo's ruled by Mercury. So there's a lot that we're feeling there. Okay. Then on Friday, Venus enters Virgo. Saturday, Venus squares Uranus. Sunday, the Sun and Saturn make a direct opposition. And then we have a solar eclipse, new moon on the 21st. You guys ready for this week? Okay, so we have Venus over here hanging out at the tail end of Leo. And then we have Mars over here in Libra hanging out here, and they are making a nice little sextile. Welcome, Mimi. I wish we could all review the chart of the... Oh, I wish too. I'm actually going to be reading their chart later tonight. They booked with me earlier, but I'm not sure if any of you have had this experience where if you open a booking page on Google, sometimes if you open it in like an incognito browser, sometimes it'll open it in like universal time. So his girlfriend thought that they booked it for 7:30 p.m. So I'm going to be doing a 7:30 p.m. chart reading, which is like my bedtime. So this never-ending road to Calvary. Oh gosh, don't get me started. What's the significance of my 8th house Mercury, Mimi? I'm a Virgo rising. I'm ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is how I communicate, and it's my strongest point in my natal chart. And so I made this TikTok account to really hone in on my gifts and to challenge myself to use my voice, and suddenly it's taken off. Crazy. So right now we're going to be discussing the transits for this week ahead. I'm also live on Twitch if you want to jump over there. I'm sharing my screen over there. We've got a whole bunch of people hanging out over there. So talking about Mars in Libra sextiling Venus in Leo. This is a great energy to oh no, you're totally fine, Mimi. I actually love it. I just keep like delaying talking about what I want to talk about because I love talking with you guys. Like it's my favorite thing. So I'm like, okay, focus. Yeah, apparently TikTok is like using like voice recognition software also when you're streaming, so they'll detect when you're detecting people to like link in the bio. Like they'll like, you just have to do all this. Ooh, you're Pisces rising. Hell yeah, Mimi. My brother's a Pisces rising, and we're just like this. Yeah, TikTok doesn't like me redirecting anybody any other place except where they're at, because they want, authority in the social media realm. They're already winning. Let's be real, guys. So what's beautiful is Venus in Leo and Mars in Libra are like, so it's just a nice little feeling. And this is really beautiful before Venus moves into Virgo. It's this supportive energy that we're feeling Ooh, a nice breeze just came through my house. Oh, that feels so, that's what this energy feels like. It feels like a nice little breeze that we're having coming through. So, you know, Venus is how we give and receive love. In Leo, she's been very theatrical and very emotionally like charged and wanting to be seen in her love and expression. And Mars in Libra is very, very balanced and analytical and harmonious in the sort of energy of, there's a specific word that I want to use in sort of diplomacy, like understanding both sides of the equation. So there's just this nice, sweet feeling that's happening between the two of them where they're really meshing together, and it's almost giving this action and love-based energy where you're actually going to be moving forward in whether it's expressing to others, right? It's like there's a symbiotic flow between taking action with our heart, right? In a balanced way instead of in a, you know, charged way. Thank you. I love my nails too. We're actually getting them done tomorrow. So if you have any ideas, please tell me, because I still have no idea. I don't know if I want to go like fall yet, but maybe I do because I'm going to a Cry Wolf concert and maybe I want to do dark and moody, but I don't know. So anyways, so that's going to be happening on Monday, which feels really nice. It's going to be very supportive, which is kind of nice because the rest of this week, it doesn't feel that way. Yeah, Saturn retrograde is coming at y'all. Pisces, Virgos, Sagittariuses, Geminis. So, okay, let's go ahead and move ahead a day. On Tuesday, Venus is going to be now trining Chiron. It's actually yeah, okay. Let me grab this. So Chiron is in Aries. Venus again is in Leo. And this feels nice because, and then like in a couple seconds, or like these two are going to still have this sextile aspect. And whenever, again, like I want to reiterate to you guys, whenever I'm talking about these transits, I'm talking about the exactitude of when they're reaching their peak, whether that's an opposition, a trine, a square, a conjunction. When I'm giving you those dates, it's when they're exactly making those aspects. So we'll feel the buildup and we'll feel the ebb of it as well. Okay. So it's not like this energy between Mars in Libra and Venus in Leo, the sextile here isn't going to disappear super quick. Once they're at a couple like degrees away from each other, we'll feel the, you know, the separation of that. But there's something that's happening again as well right now. So they're having this sextile happening, then Venus is going to be trining the next day exactly on the 16th. That's Tuesday. Chiron, while Mars is making this opposition to Chiron. Okay. Okay. You can feel Saturn at all times. Yeah, probably. What'd you miss? We are talking about Tuesday the 16th. And some of the transits that are happening there. What else is happening on Tuesday? Let me grab this. Just those two are happening. Cool. So Venus, it's a very interesting energy. I'm not going to lie, this Tuesday, because the sort of feeling that I get here is, let me shift this around because I'm being very, very particular with it being centered on the screen so I can relax and not be a perfectionist. How slow is Chiron? Your natal's in Taurus. You're not in the mood for a conjunction. So, Chiron's retrograde right now. Chiron spent it's a while. You have some time. You will also, depending on the degree. I know I'm like trying to recall your chart in my mind. I don't remember the degree of your Chiron. You have some time. Chiron returns are really healing. It's kind of like addressing the wound, readdressing it. So you have some time. What's interesting about this day, Tuesday, we've been feeling the buildup of this Mars opposition to Chiron with what's been happening. And I'm not going to go into depths. I'm not a, I don't talk about like world events. With astrology stuff, I'm here to do personal astrology. So, but it is that sort of energy of like as within, so without, right? So these things that are happening on a micro level within us are happening in a macro level around us, and then even further to the celestial bodies, right? So Mars is in this very interesting position because Mars is actually not in it's in the opposite of its home sign, which puts it at fall. So, oh hi bee. Oh, you a little wasp. Going out. Going out? No. Well, I mean, you could stay in, but I don't really think you want to. Oh, he made it. Okay. So Mars in Libra is kind of uncomfortable. So Mars represents our will, our drive to do things. And in Libra's all about playing the fair game. And if you actually know anything about war, war is not fair. It is just not. We would like to have it be fair and even and all of those things, but at a logistical level, it's just not. And Mars here is trying to find this sort of balance to appease all sides, right? And then it's opposing Chiron, and Chiron is like, yeah, Gabby, You're like, I want everybody to be happy. I want, like, we're racing. Wait, what if we cross the finish line at the same time? That would be so fun. So it's a very interesting energy. My mom brought me her drink with her hair on it. Cool. So then this opposition to Chiron, and we've been feeling Chiron and Aries because we've been having a lot of Aries transits lately, with Saturn having touched in there, Neptune's there, and we've been touching into this sort of like new identity sort of thing. And Chiron's our wounds. Chiron is the wounded healer. He teaches us how to help heal a part of us by helping other people with this wound. And so Chiron in Aries is the wound of I am. It's that first moment of identity, because we recognize that we are a consciousness before we recognize we have a body, Taurus. So Aries is all about the consciousness, right? I am a conscious thing. And then Taurus, I'm a conscious thing in the body. And then we go to Gemini, oh, I can talk about this experience. And then Cancer, oh, I feel these things. And so those first 4 signs are all about the self. So Chiron in Aries is really bringing us into this like wounded space of like our identity. And we're seeing that a lot, where taking things very personally, making things about us. And this isn't to like put us in the wrong or anything. It's just like we're all feeling that, where it's just like kind of the woe is me energy. It's like, and then with Mars opposing it, it's like, wait, but I think of, and I love making comparisons to like children, right? I used to work with kids, and so I think of like, we take a kindergarten room, we put all these kids down, and these kids are just literally mimicking what they see at home. And I'm just seeing, this Chiron and Aries just like never having this opportunity to have something for themselves and finally get something for themselves. And then the Mars and Libra teacher is like, hey, you need to share that. And the little kid's like, but it's mine. It's mine. It's me. Like, I don't want to, like, I just want to be with me. And so we're just feeling this like tension between the other and our identity. It's like, is it safe to relate to others? Can things be fair? And we're, again, like I said, we're seeing this on a broader scale in our society right now too. Like, there's just a lot of, there's truths on all sides of everything that's happening right now. That's what Mars and Libra is showing us. And Chiron and Aries is like, well, but my truth is what matters. And it gets really wrapped up in the pain and the stories. And it's just like this ache. Now, having this trine to Leo, this Venus and Leo happening today as well, is kind of adding a little bit of fuel to the Chiron fire a little bit, not in a bad way, but you know, Venus and Leo is very performative. Venus and Leo, she wants to be seen. She wants to, I kind of equated it to the song Girl on Fire, right? It's kind of just like being big, and you know, I can see this being supportive because I always look at transits as their opportunities, right? They're opportunities for us to grow and evolve if we choose to take them. Sometimes we just like to repeat the cycle, and that's okay too. Sometimes I be repeating cycles too, and I'm like, God darn it, you know, this sucks. But Venus and Leo can actually help us bravely express our feelings, right? And to like let the wound be seen on a public stage, Venus and Leo, or by our friends. Leo's like the campfire. We all surround it. We sit and we talk and we share stories. So there is who up repeating they cycle? Me. Me. We out here repeating cycles, you know. It's a part of the learning. And we finally just, not I. I'm tired. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Shout out to Holes. So, and it's so funny watching like my body reactions. I'm like putting pressure on my body because like, yeah, I can actually feel this. When I start talking about the transits, I start feeling the like, oh, this is what's coming. Oh, this is what's about to surface. So it's a tide like dead flies. Oh my God. Well, that's too damn bad. Yeah, right. Literally, that's Saturn in fucking Pisces right now, wrapping up the stories, which we'll get to Saturn in Pisces in a moment. But you know, I see this Tuesday really could be potentially triggering, but in the way that we are allowing ourselves to be seen in the pain, and then in the like discomfort of not always getting things the way we want them. Hi, Angela. Angela, is it your chart that I'm reading this week? I'm reading a couple people's charts this week. I'm so freaking excited. I love reading charts. Yes, I'm so excited. Double check I think you filled out the form, but double check your email if you haven't filled out the form. Sometimes my form lands in people's spam, and I'm trying to figure out how to make that not happen. So, if you haven't filled out the intake form, sweet, you rock. There's a couple other clients I need to get on them about that. So that's Tuesday. I'm probably gonna write that a little bit more eloquently in my newsletter, but it's gonna be an interesting, yeah, Saturn in my 7th house. Get it out. Delilah, welcome. Okay, so we're moving ahead to, oh, did I jump? Okay. Wednesday, the 17th. Holy cow, how is this month just, I don't even know what's real anymore. So, we're having this opposition between Mercury to Neptune, or Saturn, technically. It's early morning. Oh, wow. Yeah, Mercury's moving really fast. So I'm going to change this to hours. So if you guys don't know this, our guy Mercury, actually Mercury is a pretty non-binary, if I'm honest. Early in the morning or afternoon. Yeah, I feel that, Angela. Saturn in my 12th, and I don't, that's the 12th house for you. You sometimes just don't know what's happening. So we have this opposition that's happening between Mercury and Saturn happening on the 17th. This feels like a little bit of a prelude to our eclipse that's going to be coming up on the 21st, that solar eclipse. And I'm going to have a whole separate video where I dive deeper into that. When am I going to film it? Well, I thought I was going to film it this last week and that didn't happen. So this week it definitely will happen. Mercury is our planet of communication, and in Virgo, it's very, very analytical, and it's been kind of like bringing a little bit of a neurotic energy I don't know if y'all are feeling that too. Ruled by Mercury, I've been hyper aware of my thoughts and of the pattern of my thoughts, and it's been so a little bit frustrating, but also kind of rewarding in the way that I'm seeing the patterns, and it's like I can't ignore them anymore, right? So Mercury in Virgo is going to be opposing Saturn. Saturn's our structures, our routines, our discipline, which Saturn's making a dip back into Pisces, which is having us touch upon the lessons that we've been going through since March 2023. And so again, I've put out a lot of videos talking specifically about this, but TLDR, Saturn in Pisces is helping us create spiritual discipline. And that is easier said than done because we have to face our tendencies to use spiritual bypassing. And so Mercury here creating this opposition, there can be this sort of back and forth between, ooh, the brain is clinging so tightly to control right now of like wanting to analyze and fix and get everything correct. And Saturn in Pisces is just like, actually Mercury, like if we're duking it out here, we all know who's gonna win. It's Saturn, right? Yeah, that's so funny, Shaw. Mine, I'm like feeling massive migraine energy right now. Like I've been having a headache all day. Saturn is inviting Mercury to slow down. And that's hard because Mercury is moving really fast right now. It's going to be in Libra literally the next day, and so they're having this moment of conversation, and I kind of see it as like this, like it's giving me the sort of feeling when you like make eye contact with somebody as you're driving by them, you know, they're on the other side going the other direction and you're driving the other way. It's kind of like this eye contact, but in that split moment, you understand what they're saying. And Mercury is wanting to surrender that like mental control. And Saturn's like, it's this sort of container of like, let go and let God. That's kind of been a big theme for these eclipses that are happening, especially with the North Node in Pisces. It's like, Saturn's like, so are you gonna actually like surrender? And Mercury's like, I don't know about that. It's very interesting. Yeah, scream at my own ass versus please kick my ass. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. It's been very interesting to be in the experience of that. So then literally the next day, what we'll see happening, just double checking that I'm not skipping any transits. So if you watch here, if you guys are on the purple app, you'll see what I'm doing directly. And if you're on TikTok, I'm sharing my screen on another platform. So if you're interested in seeing what I'm doing, you can jump over there. So if we go ahead and change this back to days, and we again keep your eye on Mercury here and just watch as I skip forward. Mercury's moving so fast that it moved 2 degrees in one day. That's quick. So Mercury moves into Libra, and right as Mercury moves into Libra, they're making an opposition to Neptune in Aries. Whenever I think of Saturn slowing time, I think of Kronos and yeah, dude, yes. Yeah, Saturn rules time, and Saturn is powerful. And lately time has been, and we've been in a weird time warp. I'm not sure if y'all have been feeling that too, or if it's just me and I'm just going crazy, which is highly possible too. So first I'm going to talk about what it means to have Libra in Mercury in Libra. So Mercury shifting into Libra, it brings in this tone, this energy of more lighthearted communication. Libra's all about connections. Libra's all about connecting to others and creating harmony, and it's a little bit of people pleasing. You know how to use your words to get people to like you. So it is such a beautiful energy. It's like flirting is off the charts with Libra Mercury here. So it is a beautiful, beautiful energy. And as Mercury's moving into Libra, making this opposition to Neptune, Neptune's retrograde in Aries right now, and it's slowly, slowly retrograding just back. And Neptune in Aries is such an interesting feeling. It's kind of been this weird sort of identity fuzz there, because it's almost like, just a little recap about our summer. We had all of the outer planets move into new signs, which is like, it's like the old gods, which were the planets all in those water and earth signs, basically saying we're out, and then new gods coming in, the air and fire shifting into those, and they like, it's like that kind of chaos of them switching and like getting things organized, and it's a lot, right? So Neptune in Aries is weird because Neptune's ruled by Pisces and is right on the cusp of this. Thanks for the likes. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm like, maybe multi-streaming is not for me. My brain's just a little chaotic. Neptune in Aries is this dissolving of the ego, right? And so at the very, very first degree of Aries, it's kind of like, you all probably been having that collective feeling of like, who even am I? And especially with Saturn having been there, it was like this whole recreation of structures within our identity, and now it's going back to really touch into that spiritual discipline for a moment, right? But with Neptune opposing Mercury, it's creating this fog. It's creating a little bit like, so Mercury's gonna like move in here and make this opposition. And where is it? Guys, I didn't even talk about there's other stuff happening too with Mercury moving here. Okay. It can feel a little bit challenging, but there is a sort of, it's a very interesting thing because Neptune represents spirituality, our dreams, our magical abilities. It's the mystics planet. And when these two are opposing, there can be like this sort of this and or that. But there is also a challenge that can bring you clear direction in deepening into these sort of dreams and psychic connections that Neptune gives us. So it's just a brief moment. Mercury's only here for a moment. You saw how fast Mercury was moving. So it's, how do I want to word this? Gosh, oh man, and of course it's making this like oh, this is gonna be so freaking fun. Again, I'm just letting you guys know that Mercury's kind of paving the way right now and making all these transits. So Mercury is trining Uranus, trining Pluto. These two are trining. So we have this grand air trine happening. And just a little insight for the next week. The sun will be at that position and creating this grand air trine. And then this opposition, so it's kind of like a kite, little bit. Oh gosh, yeah, we actually have so much things happening. But I'm trying to break this down to you guys in ways that make sense. Hi, chat. How's your brains? Are you following? Mercury trining Uranus and then trining Pluto, having this grand air trine and then this opposition to Neptune. It's creating this really powerful pressure point of communication that's happening here. You're following with your chart in mind. Yay, Celestial. I'm super glad that it's making sense to you. I'm also streaming over on the Purple app and sharing my screen. So if you're a visual learner, it might be a little bit more helpful. What software is this? It's Luna. Let's see if I can get it lined up again. Nice. Yeah, I think it's like a couple bucks a month. So this is Uranus will turn direct in February. Actually, no, that's Saturn. Uranus won't turn direct until next late spring. I don't know the exact date. Oh, I was right. It is February. I thought it was, just kidding. I can't trust, Google Gemini. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, yeah, so we'll go direct in Taurus on February 4th, and then we'll move into Gemini September the following year. Good questions. Yeah, I know. I was like, wait, I'm thinking of another one. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot happening in February, and then more eclipse season stuff. Yippee. This is a beautiful... Okay, let me focus. Izzy, focus. This grand air trine with Mercury and Uranus and Pluto, this is like a powerful, like, communication moment. I'm actually very curious to see how this shows up on the world stage. This feels like... if you're willing and if you're desiring to actually speak out your personal truth, this is a beautiful time to do it, especially with Mercury being in Libra, the sign of diplomacy and balance and harmony. It's like actually a beautiful, like, supportive energy, even though there's that opposition to Neptune. Neptune just might add a little bit of fogginess to it, but it doesn't, again, with this trine that's happening here, it doesn't feel like it's going to really deter the actual truth of the message. It feels like it's still going to move forward with that power. Yeah, which seems super, super cool. Welcome everybody who's jumping into the live. Let's jump ahead. Yeah, this is gonna be so stinking cool. On the 19th, Venus, did you see that Mercury already jumped ahead another degree just the next day? So like Mercury's moving fast. So it's just like a small moment that's happening of communication. And again, when I'm talking about these things, it could be just mental clarity that comes in or something snapping into place. It doesn't have to be outward communication. It can be an internal thing as well of just like, oh, and it also depends on personal placements within your chart. You could even just have somebody coming to you with like clear communication, or it could actually be affecting you from another person communicating to you. So just a little moment. Venus moves into Virgo. Nice. Any Venus and Virgos in the chat? Actually, I'm like trying to recall. Liz, let's go. I'm like, I'm like trying to think of like family members or close friends, and I'm like, I don't think I actually have, yeah, a lot of experience with close. Your Venus and Aries, yeah. Welcome Amanda. Hi Chucky. We are talking about the astrological forecast for the week ahead. We're talking about the 19th, which Venus moves into Virgo. So Virgo, I feel like, is slept on in astrology. I'm not going to lie. And I've actually been loving being able to dive deeper into the Virgo energy with my newsletter, with my YouTube videos, and just what I've been sharing, because Virgo is the 6th sign. And it is that mind, body, spirit alignment. Virgo rules over our nervous system and how everything works together. It's just this beautiful Yeah, Venus and Virgo is powerful. Yeah, happy almost Venus return to Virgo Venuses. That's a freaking tongue twister. If I said that too fast, I think I'd say some other words. So with Venus moving into Virgo, this feels very... It feels nice for it to kind of sweep in here at the end of eclipse season too, where I almost feel like Venus and Virgo is kind of going to, like, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is somebody that's just kind of sweeping up the rubble of all the decimation that's kind of happened throughout the eclipse season, right? We've moved through we're moving through some intense bookends, right? We started with a new moon in Virgo at 0 degrees. We had our lunar eclipse that was at 15 degrees, and now we're having a solar eclipse that's at 29 degrees, right? So we have a lot that's kind of happening here. So Venus shifting into Virgo feels like this opportunity for some like housekeeping in such a good way. So like the thing about Venus, it's our desire of giving and receiving love. Venus and Virgos are the type of people, you give them a vacuum. You give them like something that's practical and tangible that makes sense for their life. It might be very, very different depending on that Virgo. So like Liz, for example, I'm trying to think of, I don't know you that personally. I know just a few things that you've shared in the Discord. But like, for whatever reason, I'm picturing you as somebody who likes art. So like an art tool that would make your art a lot easier to manage, like an organizer or something like that, is a very nice gift for Virgo Venuses. Thank you, Tinglet, for the hand heart. It's so sweet. And I appreciate everybody who is liking the live on TikTok. Whenever you actually tap and like the video, it pushes it to other people. So if anybody out there, is there a Discord link? Yes, it's linked in my bio. If you click my business, like my website link, and you scroll all the way to the bottom, it should be down there with all my socials. That's gonna be that would be a very, very sweet day. Yeah, Celestial, I'm excited to have you join. A lot of people that are in the live are actually in the space, which I'm here to build community. I could go on a whole tangent about that, but nitty gritty of Venus and Virgo likes practicality, likes balance, likes to have the way they give and receive love is like acts of service, like doing things for people. They remember the details. So it's almost like I see this being such a gift for us as we're moving through this eclipse season. To have Venus move in here, it's almost like an extra supportive hand of disciplined nurturing, which, bear with me, it's still leaning into that sextile I was talking about the other day with Jupiter sextiling the sun, right? We just had that happen on Friday, and it's kind of like that helpful teacher. It's this like really loving, like, I want you to succeed energy, even if that means like, yeah, you're going to have to get out of bed on time to actually achieve your goals. But that's a form of self-love, of like actually doing the things that you set yourself out to do. So it feels really, really supportive and earthy and grounded. So make yourself some bread. No, blue hands. Fake friends reporting. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. We out here live every Sunday, 4 p.m. PST. That's 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I know you're not doing anything at 5 p.m. on a Sunday. Just kidding. Damn, I've been live too long, and we're not even done with the transits. Okay, so Venus moves into Virgo. Let's go ahead and jump ahead to the 20th. So on the 20th, Venus will be making a square to Uranus. Boom. And then, what else do we have happening here? And then we can see that the sun is directly opposing Saturn later in the evening before the eclipse, which we're going to talk about that more in tandem when I talk about the solar eclipse, which I'm not going to go too in depth with the solar eclipse because I will have an individual YouTube video on the solar eclipse posted. When? I definitely will tell you guys on my newsletter, or if you're if you're signed up to my newsletter, you'll know immediately when it's out. Okay, so Venus making a square to Uranus is kind of irritating. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like she enters Virgo kind of like ready to like get shit cleaned up, and then she walks in, and again it's very akin to our new moon that we had at the beginning of Virgo season, because that new moon we had the sun squaring and the sun and moon squaring Uranus, and it was like this weird like, wait a damn minute, this is the weirdest Virgo season, or the most different Virgo season than we've had ever, right? It's a weird energy. So Venus is coming in ready to rock and roll, and then she enters Virgo and is like, wait a damn minute, this doesn't look how it looked the last time I was here. It's like everything's rearranged. It's not even the same like building. Things are out of place. It's disheveled. There's things around. So there's this edge of uncomfortability, but it builds. The thing about squares is they create tension. I always like to, thanks for the follow, Ellie. I appreciate it. You're so sweet. I think of it as, sorry that the light is like so direct on you guys over there. Hopefully it looks really pretty. Ooh, cool lighting. Tension creates growth. When I think of tension or squares within astrology, I think of like the tectonic plates and how they kind of like, you know, that's what squares do. And so Uranus is kind of like, it's kind of like that fly that's been buzzing around me. It's like just this slight irritation. And the thing about Uranus and Gemini is it's been overly mentally stimulating, where it's almost been like nervous system, mind, thoughts, a lot of things are going really quick right now. And so Venus and Virgo is kind of like almost, I get the feeling of almost getting mentally overloaded with a to-do list and like things that you want to get done, and just like maybe getting a little bit like mentally paralyzed. Or there's the opposite of it, where you're just like obsessively like doing things. Oh, a bee is stuck in my house, guys. We can't have that. Here you go, Bubba. Go on out. Go on out. Thank you. We love the bees, guys. We love the bees. Yep. All right. Again, thank you guys for the likes in TikTok. As you guys like the live, it pushes it out to people. So if you're not doing anything, might as well like it. No, literally, Juliet, lightning bolts hitting you while you're having a manic ADHD episode is what it's giving. That's what happens to me. If I get too many small tasks, it turns into a mega. Yeah. And so there's like this... The thing that's been helping me with this Virgo energy that's kind of been, you know, what we're going through, it's Virgo season, the energy's present in Virgo, is giving my mind permission to not know or not have to solve things immediately, right? One thing at a time. It's like, how would I treat a kindergartner going through the like energy that I'm going through? Would I get mad at them for not knowing? No, I'd be like, well, what's one small little thing you can check off? And then go from there. So then the sun is creating this opposition to Saturn, which again leads into the next day, which we have, oh, how did I get it directly? We have our solar eclipse in Virgo happening on the 21st. The exact time for that solar eclipse, it's a partial solar eclipse, by the way, guys. It's happening at 12:54 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that is almost 1 o'clock, right? So that means 2 Mountain, 3 Central, and 4 Eastern. So around that time. This is a whole conversational piece that I will bring into a whole different video on my YouTube, because it needs a whole video, and that's what I do. I like to talk about the new and full moon videos on my YouTube channel. We're growing that, so if you guys haven't followed my YouTube yet, Support your girl. We're growing. We're doing it. This solar eclipse, the fact that it's at the anaretic degree, 29 degrees of Virgo, it's like this. I'm actually very excited for this. This, as we're in the middle of eclipse season right now, we're right smack dab in the middle of it right now. It's kind of that feeling of like, are we ever going to make it? At least that's what it's feeling for me. And then when I'm looking at the astrology here on my screen, I'm like, yeah, we are. Obviously, we are going to make it. And it's this like beautiful tension point, right? The last degree of Virgo. It's the mastery of Virgo. It's this beautiful, beautiful. Actually, I want to know what decan this is. Oh, another little wasp. Hi, guy. How'd you get in here? My curtains are like covering it. Fun fact, I'm allergic. But they don't freak me out. Okay, Virgo. Last degree. Okay, is ruled by Mercury. And the Ten of Pentacles. This is beautiful. So, like I knew it. I was like, this Mercury's like paving the way right now. So it's ruled by this Mercury. Mercury's in Libra. Libra rules Venus. Venus is in Virgo. Okay. Virgo rules Ooh, that's interesting. They're kind of dual ruling right here. Which is kind of cool. So there's this back and forth thing happening. It's like a final culmination, right? New moon, new seeds, new intentions. It's kind of like, you know, the meme of people breaking their chains. That's how this feels. Yippee! And again, depending on where it's at in your own personal natal chart, we've been hyper focused on the Virgo house within your natal chart. So if you haven't been looking at that, that's been like the big focus of where we're purging. And I just see it as this last moment of like releasing perfectionism, releasing hypercriticism, and like just really leaning into, again, this Saturn in Pisces, making this opposition here, has been really just like, it feels like Saturn in Pisces to me feels like the energy of what Yeshua, Christ, embodied. Like, Saturn in Pisces is a disciplined person that has a deep, deep spiritual structured belief system, right? And it really is to just like be kind and loving, right? And so Saturn in Pisces is just like, here you go. Here you go. Like, just, you know, have the spiritual discipline to show up, to sit every day in meditation, to sit every day in prayer, to have those moments. And I cannot press enough, especially with the Virgo energy. It's like, what are new ways that you can incorporate into your day-to-day routine, Virgo, right? You've been purging old routines that have not been working, right? So if you've noticed your spiritual practices changing, good. That's for a reason. This Virgo season has felt like an experiment. Woo! Ah, the bee was in my face. That was a wasp, not a bee. It's been like this spiritual experimentation of what does fit. What is this thing for me? I want this wasp out, but like, oh, he's cleaning his little antennas. Oh. Whoa. Hey, bub. I'm going to open this up a little bit, see if this will encourage him to fly on out. We'll see. Yeah, so, you know, as your native Virgo rising here, I'm always going to encourage daily devotion to whatever it is you believe in, whether, you know, that's believing in your higher self, in God, in Goddess, whatever that is. But it's so important. That's what Saturn in Pisces really is. You need to build the container. Saturn in Pisces, it's what I've been coining as like the spiritual chalice, right? Without the chalice, you can't hold the spirituality. It has to have a form, because water without a container it's formless, right? And I think of another thing coming to mind with this concept is, speaking affirmations to water. It'll take different crystalline forms based off of what you say to it. That's the same with you, and same with your spiritual practice. It's so, so beautiful. So, this week has a lot of shifting parts, but they're all in this, like, I've been kind of thinking of the different transits and what's been happening, and cosmically what's been happening is Virgo is so used to looking at the puzzle, right, of life from a flat 2D surface, right? So if you think of any normal like table puzzle, you're putting the pieces in, but there's been like this elevation of the puzzle and it's taking a 3D form. And that's a lot, right? It's like moving around. There's so many different pieces and parts. And so Virgo's like, what the fuck? This is not, holy shit. Thank you for all the subs. 5-tier subs. Aw, everybody say thank you. Everybody say thank you to Tanglet. If you got a sub, that means you can use my cool ass emojis in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, no more ads. I thought I turned the ads off. I'll be so honest. I thought I did. I thought. I could be wrong. Yeah. Yeah, I think I turned my ads off for, just in case. Because I remember a lot of, and I don't have enough, like, right as I looked at the timer on TikTok, it was at 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 22 seconds. What else? Hang in there. We're making it. And then, the following week is going to be so cool because the sun and moon are both going to shift to that degree that Mercury was in. It's like, it's going to be okay, is ultimately it. There's been such a need for us to reorient our minds and our bodies. That's been really important too, because we've had a lot of mental stimuli, but like how it's been translating in the body, it's so important to like be aware of that too. Move things, work out, take care of your health, drink water. I'm saying all these things right up myself too, don't you worry. There's a lot happening, so take it day by day. We've got this. We're making it.